All right, guys. We're kind of getting close to the total time here, so I think we should get into homeless people.
Game changer.
Ew, gross.
Yeah, Zach's about to lay down some game changers that they're going to solve the homeless problem. So here we go.
I do got one for you guys.
Okay.
Subway's offering free foot-long sandwiches for anyone who's willing to get a foot-long Subway sandwich tattooed on either their chest or back.
It's a 12 by 12 inch tattoo, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, so just have a tattoo artist. I got this idea from another pod. Just have a tattoo artist give free tattoos.
Do we know how much a 12 by 12 tattoo would cost? I'm guessing it's in the $1,000.
Also,
range.
who would want a Subway sandwich tattoo?
Jared.
He does like 12.
Jared, the Subway man. Rest in peace.
Did he die?
No,
he's just in prison.
but he has AIDS. Haven't you ever seen that South Park?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Kanye West likes fish sticks.
That's very true.
that is a true statement.
So, what do you think we can do to get the homeless jobs?
Get them jobs.
Yes.
Vote Republican.
I feel like that could be a little clickbait right there.
That's another clip, maybe.
Hey, go for it.
How do you feel
You know,
about furries? Republican.
please vote Republican.
No, I don't know, man. I feel like the homeless, that's a tricky one. I've always wondered how they got there, because at one point they were a little kid, they had parents, and just the overall time span, timeline that's just changed to lead up to that point.
I think parents make a huge difference, though, because there's some parents that could abandon their kids. There's some that go straight into foster care. There's some that kind of just raise themselves. I mean, obviously older than a few years old, but
right.
I think those are probably at the most risk for becoming homeless, is just having no guidance and then having no place to live or no one else to support you in case anything goes wrong.
Never really could get on your feet, move forward.
Right. I mean, if you think any of us, if we lost our job, we still have something to fall back on, right? So we're not going to be out on the streets just holding the sign begging for money.
Well, and see, that's where it comes into my thought process is, I have nothing against homeless people, and I feel for them. The thing that I don't particularly like is when they're standing on the street corner begging for money, especially when we just went through probably one of the strangest times when it comes to people were going out of their mind looking for people to work.
Right.
And all throughout that, you still saw them standing on the side of the street begging for money. And I think it's because
I think they're
okay with it.
I think there is one other problem to what you're mentioning. There is you have to pay taxes if you're working somewhere, and to pay taxes you have to have a home address. So that plays a role in this somehow. I think that maybe somehow we need to give P.O. boxes or something to homeless so that they're able to send and receive their own mail. If they were able to do that, then they could. I suppose I'm not an expert on any of this by any means. Claim that state or territory or whatever that they had the P.O. box in is their home, and they would pay taxes to that state.
So I'm not going to claim to be an economist. Is that a thing? And this is probably
not for you.
This is probably. I'll drink booty shakes. Hey, this might be illegal even. I don't know, but not always. How do I say this without it being illegal?
To Don't pay your taxes.
Go mow a lawn, and the dude will pay you in cash. You know what I mean? Like you can do work without necessarily needing a place to receive a check, I guess.
I don't
Like under the
disagree,
table jobs.
but it's like, how are you going to have a place to live though without
Well,
paying tax?
you won't necessarily have a place to live without paying tax. Fair enough. Fair enough. I see what
How,
you're
So
saying.
yeah, because a
But
lot of places
but
require like a
that's
check
why most
stub.
homeless are in their cars or
mm,
tents or
right.
campers or RVs or whatever.
I see what you're saying now. My topic was more along the lines of
Making
you
money.
need you need to get a job, number one, and it doesn't necessarily. I mean, you don't have to go corporate. You don't. There's so many options available in this world. I just feel like the guys that are standing on the corner with a sign saying "I need money." If you were truly out trying to get money, you wouldn't be standing on the corner just holding a sign. You'd be,
Doing
like I
whatever it
said,
takes to get family or money for your family.
right, right, and you're not gonna get a home day one. Um, it's gonna take time.
Now,
What
what
do you
about
think
the
of?
people that sell like the water bottles on the side or flowers or
I'm into it.
wash the windows?
Yeah, I'm into it.
That's
If
fine. You're
you if you
trading work for money, so
something
that's labor.
yeah, something my brother-in-law said to me years ago that resonated with me because I was like, that is legit. Is he would never give a guy who is just standing there asking for money, but any Joe Blow come up to his car and say, "Hey, can I wash your windows for $5?" He'd be like, "Fuck it, yeah, why not?" He'd give him $5 and he'd wash his windows. If you're willing to work for the money, I have no problem giving it to you.
Right. I think some of those guys, well, I mean, first of all, it's kind of hard to run a business when you don't have any money to begin with. You can't go
Hmm.
out and buy flowers or whatever if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
money to begin with. And obviously, we're assuming a lot of things about homeless since none
Right.
of us have been homeless. We don't really understand how much money they have at a single time or anything. But yeah, I mean, you do have a solid point there. I think that there's definitely stuff you can do for work, even cash. I mean, you can be shoveling driveways with snow, get them off. I mean, you can be even volunteering. I would imagine that people that you're volunteering with would help you out a lot after seeing you help out other people. I've worked at the food bank before, and they give out food and stuff to homeless and less fortunate people. But I personally, I think that they would have no problem giving out extra food or whatever to people that would help out with that.
And I guess I should say I'm more or less basing all of this off of like your first reaction to what you think of when you think of homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's people who work a full time job and live out of their car, and they're
Mm-hmm.
technically homeless. Um, and so that's not really necessarily where I'm going at with my topic, I guess.
That's very true. I've seen a video on YouTube, and it was a lady that I believe she worked at McDonald's, and she didn't have a car to commute, so she walked. I believe it was 15 miles each way to go to McDonald's to work. And then when she came back home, she still didn't have enough like money to support her family, so they all had to live out of a car.
Hmm. Right.
So I mean, there's definitely that kind of stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's as easy to put it like all in one box. I think everyone has a
Yeah,
different
I
situation.
think one of the things is we're grouping homeless into one, right? Just like Zach
Mm-hmm.
said.
Right.
I think there's many different types of homeless people, and we're not even really talking about that yet.
I know, kind of goes on a little bit of a tangent, but I used to work in a hospital setting, and we get some homeless people come in, and we treat them. But when it was time to discharge, like legally or formally, or I don't know, we had to discharge them to an address or a house. So since a lot of them didn't have a house or a home, we had to actually put them up in a hotel room for about a week, like 2 days or so, just so we could have like on paper where we discharged them to. And then I don't know if they utilized it or not, but it kind of brings up an interesting topic there.
I've heard this about homeless going to hospitals too. The hospital can't deny anyone care, even if they don't have insurance. So
Hmm.
hospitals still have to help out homeless people, even if they don't end up paying anything or insurance doesn't end up covering
It's
anything.
true. Yeah, here in Houston, we have like our community hospitals. We have like we call it the Gold Card, where you can do your paperwork based on your income if you qualify or not, and it's essentially free healthcare. Um, Granted, yeah, there's long wait lists. There's a lot of like other hurdles to jump through. You're probably not gonna. You have equally as good as like surgeons and therapists and nurses as everyone else. The only issue is like if I want to go and need a knee replacement, I could just have that conversation. Where here, the community has to like devote funds. Is this knee replacement truly needed, or can we maybe treat it something cheaper and maybe look at the knee replacement in a couple of years?
Right. When you're
So
working
there
through
is options out
insurance,
there, but I don't think the two compare very well.
yeah, when you're working through insurance, you're kind of just having them bargain for you, right?
Essentially, yeah, the devil's man.
So, what about all these homeless camps and stuff that we see? I know that you probably don't see too many Masons since you're not in the city. I'm sure that there's homeless people out there, but I'm sure very few compared to what we have in the city.
Hmm.
And speaking of homeless people before, I think that they flock to cities because there's so many like homeless shelters and soup kitchens and food banks. There's just more
Hmm.
resources there for
Yeah.
them to have an easier life.
I think a
So I
lot
think that's
depends
why,
on your climate as well. So like
yeah, for
take
sure.
take my
Hmm.
climate for example. When it's winter, it's -15 to below. You can't be homeless in
Hmm.
-15, you know?
Yeah, I also think like generally speaking, most cities are more like liberally. They're less conservative, so I think they're more likely to have more support, have more funding, whatever you want to call it, for the populations too.
So what about camping bans? Like
Yeah, so Houston
that's like the
actually,
new thing, right? Like the
yeah,
urban
Houston actually
camping
has
bans.
like a camping ban. Um, I don't know how accurate this is or whatnot. This is just what I've been told. But they'll post up like no camping here, remove all property within like 2 weeks or however long it is. And then essentially, whenever that time span goes, they go make sure no one's in there, and they just take essentially like big excavators, come through with a backhoe, and just remove all the tents and debris and trash and everything.
They
But now
give
you
those
got
guys like a 1 day warning or whatever, right?
I think it's like 2 weeks. I think it's a little longer. But then you got like cities like Austin. Austin doesn't have a camping ban, and you really see it just like under the freeways, under all this stuff.
Yeah, we were there and we saw it, right?
Hmm.
Mace, did you see it?
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
more than
yeah.
what you saw
I think
back
I
where you're
think
from.
yeah, for sure. So I think that there needs to be like a way to help without condoning, I guess, that lifestyle. Like we shouldn't like I don't
Hmm.
know if I'm saying this correctly. Yes, help them, but don't be like, oh, there's nothing wrong with being homeless. Because if you're telling them that, they're like, oh, okay, okay, I can get on board with that if there's nothing wrong with this.
Sure.
Um, I'm not saying that you're any less of a person because you're homeless, but you shouldn't be homeless.
And let's be honest, a lot of it is drugs and mental illness
I
too.
mean,
And it's not that
yeah,
those people choose either of those things; they
Yeah,
just
no,
kind
I
of ended
agree.
up there.
I think you hit the nail on the head with those the two topics. They probably go hand to hand too. Would be my
Yeah,
assumption.
I think a lot of people that are mentally ill that can't really afford to go to a
Hmm.
doctor or whatever, self medicating. So those kind of go out on the street and take whatever they need
Hide
to
the
or whatever
pain.
they can. Yeah,
I was gonna
just numb it
say
out.
to go along with that, obviously we've all been blessed with our family and everything like that. Because Zach, if you lost your job right now and you got evicted out of your place, you wouldn't be homeless.
No,
You
I
know,
know.
you
I have several places I could go
you
stay.
have several places where you could go and stay, and not all homeless people have that
This, yeah.
Right.
resource. There are some that do, but because they're so deep into their mental illness or their drug use, for more better example,
Right.
they don't go home.
Well, I feel like a lot of the times, I think you kind of touched on where you don't want to like condone it because like maybe they feel ashamed to go back to a family member's house or an old friend's house or something. So maybe just reframe that in a positive light that it's all right to ask for help. I
It's
think
also hard too, because I mean, like us three here, we're all friends, right? So, like, if any one of us went homeless, like, I'm sure all of us would offer the other an opportunity to stay there for, maybe not permanently, but for a certain amount of time. But
just
You
enough.
you did, Jake.
yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there
So
2 days homeless.
no, so no, when what was it? It would have been junior year of
You lived,
college.
yeah,
Yeah,
you lived at our house when you were homeless.
for like 2 weeks. Didn't have a
Yeah.
home. Is we left the place we was at, and the new place wasn't opening up for 2 weeks. Actually, we were still looking for a place. We didn't even have a place. But yeah,
And we gifted you with Keystone Ice.
That is a good statement.
that'll make you puke.
I mean, that's a homeless drink right there. Guys, would you ever bang a homeless person? I mean, we're talking a girl for sure. But probably one that's not super dirty or a drug addict.
Is this staying on the pot? Or are you cutting it? Yeah, see that matters with the group you're talking to here.
Well, if your answer is one way and different the other, then I think we know what your answer is.
Nope. Why would my girlfriend ever be homeless? That's the real question.
See,
There you go.
see,
See, Zach's better at it than you are, Mace.
see. Well, I don't do
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
What, bang homeless?
I'm just a good little Christian boy.
I don't think I would. Seems like I'd be paying for most of the stuff.
What are you buying?
Everything in that situation.
Condoms.
Would you raw dog it or not?
Plan B.
I don't think so. That's probably STD City.
All right, boys.